show. There we are. Now we're live. Check, check, check.
I've been alive all the last 7 years.
Uh-huh. All right, so let's see who's with us today. Kyle is here, Ken is here, Amnon is here, of course. Jonia is maybe here. Jonia was in chat like this morning, so I don't know if Jonia is really with us or if it's a holdover from before. And then Nick is here, and that's the folks that are in chat. Now you know that we don't monitor the chat in Facebook, and we don't even have the YouTube chat turned on. So if you want to get in on the chat, let's see, can I show you what the chat looks like? Yeah, here's the chat. It's not the right color. That's the chat. Oh, Joni is here. Okay, there they go. So that's the chat. And if you want in on the chat to talk to Amnon and I back and tell us, you know, Tom, your hair's out of place or something like that. Amnon, your audio's too low, too high, yeah. That's when I'm going to go for the Amnon look here in another year or so. That's right. Fling it out of your hair. Oh my goodness. Oh, I got to get this little cord thingy out of the way. Yeah, if you're watching this on Facebook, we won't be monitoring the comments until afterwards. So come on over to easternshorebroadcasting.com, streamingidiots.com too. It works both ways. And then you can get in on the chat. That's the thing. Because it's so much fun to hang out and chat with Kyle and Ken and Jonia and Nick and me and Emma. That's all that's in chat right now. So yeah. So Amnon, when you walked away, do you still have your blue screen like 6 inches behind you?
Yeah, you want to see it?
Yeah, I do.
Well, at this, I see it comes out black because of the color. I don't know how to change it. Yeah, but it's right behind me. And I guess I need. Okay.
Okay. I can walk you through.
Go in here.
No. Don't do that because that'll screw everything up. Just
no, I can always bring it back. I mean, it's no big deal. I just go to the color key and say hang.
Yeah. Okay. There you go.
So yeah, I mean
that's amazing. That is amazing. That is amazing. And you chose blue because of your shirt.
Because of what I always wear.
Right. Okay.
So now if I put it back, and it's back.
Now you're right. Now you can put in your background. And you've shifted backgrounds. You used to have a server farm.
Oh, yeah. I mean, it's still here. But
yeah, there it is.
I don't use it. I don't use it anymore.
You retired it.
It's all right. It was too busy.
Yeah.
Too busy.
Sorry about that, Nick. Yeah, we've got, we had some music playing that wasn't on a trigger because I just added, actually that was the old theme song. That is not the new Tom. No, that is the old Tom. That's back from 2012. Back, you know, that's computer years are like dog years, you know? So something that was 6 years ago is really like 40 years ago.
It seems like it.
That was 40 years ago.
We've been having fun so long.
Yes. More fun than we deserve. So yeah, there's that music will be part of the show here in a little bit.
I'm gonna fire up VidBlaster 1.63.
Oh my goodness.
And say, what was it? 3.61, something like that.
What was it? Yeah. It was I think it was 363.
363. Okay.
Was the latest one I used. I don't
Yeah.
remember. It's funny because I was watching that video that you and I made back in July of 2012. Holy cow!
And
And
I was using
I was
VidBlaster. I don't know
I
what.
was using VidBlaster. You were using VidBlaster,
Yep.
and you were talking about how easy it was to use, and that you just popped it up and everything worked. And
Yep. It
That was
was
back-
easy. I mean, between VidBlaster, Wirecast, and vMix, VidBlaster was the easiest to set up
yes,
because there was not much. I mean, everything was already in it with the modules, but forget it. That's not where it ends.
well, but that's kind of a common theme that things are easy to use. Doesn't mean that they're powerful and can grow as you grow. And that was one of those.
Absolutely correct.
As more and more features were added, it became clunkier and clunkier.
Yeah.
And yeah,
To the point where it was so clunky that you couldn't use it anymore.
yeah, and it was so CPU based. If you didn't, I mean, there was no doing HD with anything less than a super overclocked i7X or whatever it was.
Yeah,
now
I
you
could.
can
I mean,
do HD on a
it's
dual core laptop with vMix.
it's hard to believe sitting here now with vMix, the total CPU on the system with Skype running and everything is 5%, and vMix is using 1%.
Yeah.
Yeah, 1%, 2%.
Martin
1 and 2.
Stuckey's here. Martin's from Switzerland. He said he still has VidBlaster 3.1 installed on one of his PCs. Holy cow.
I probably have it installed, quote unquote, on one of the PCs back under the shelf somewhere in storage, but that doesn't mean that he's using it.
I wonder if I've
Do
still
you,
got it
Martin?
on this one PC.
Yeah.
Was it listed under VidBlaster or was it listed under something else? Do you remember?
What? No, it was VidBlast.
It was VidBlaster. Okay. It was like CombiTech.
No. It was, but under the company name, whatever. What was it?
Yeah. CombiTech, something like that.
CombiTech. Yeah, that's in the program files. CombiTech.
Yeah. No, I guess I I took it off
I
this
would-
one.
I would have spanked you if you had it. Right through the.
Oh, no. Rich is here. Hey, Rich. And, of course, Martin. And John T. And Rod's here. Welcome. Glad to have you. We're getting warmed up here, getting Amnon all warmed up like he needs to be warmed up. He's one of those people that, he doesn't need a warm-up. You just toss him into the game. He's ready to go. He'll throw heat.
Look who's talking.
Well, I learned from the best.
I wish you stopped saying it. I mean, the only
What?
thing that I did was I encouraged you. I mean, you saw what I did and you liked it, and I told you that you can do it too. And it's not like I had to talk you into it. You did it. You made it. Not, it's. Come on. Yeah, I saw what you did. What was it? The mentor and whatever. No, come on.
Yeah.
No, you taught me more than I taught you.
Well, see, that's the way every relationship ought to be. That we all feel like we get more than we give. And if everybody felt that way, they'd continue to give in order to try to match up with what they're getting.
Yeah.
So that's a win. That's a winner right there. No, there were so many things that I learned about you. And the one thing that continues to encourage me, and in fact, I'm sitting in this studio today because of you. Because you were the first person I knew that had a bona fide money-making studio that you were working out of.
And all I did is I told you that you can do it too. That's all.
Yeah. Well, you did that, but you also took me through your studio. You remember the first visit that I had?
Yeah.
And then the second visit, and then the third visit. The third visit, remember the third visit, we actually did a Streaming Idiots episode from your studio.
Right. It's 144.
Yes, that's right. That's right. And Mike was there, and Nick was there, and Spence was there.
Yep.
The
whole crew was here.
That was fun. Yeah. Yeah. And what an impact you and Mike and Spence have had on Nick. I mean, obviously he had his own desires and his own inclinations, but to have folks like you guys surrounding him, and encouraging him and supporting him and giving him a place to be and explore all that stuff. I mean, that was
the whole idea of the whole thing, is to encourage other people to do the same thing. And if they have the ability, go for it.
Well, it's all your fault.
Yeah, I know. See, that's what I'm trying to accomplish here. Stop blaming me.
It's not working. It's not working. TC's here. Welcome, TC. Glad to have you.
Just sick.
All right. Amnon will be back with us shortly. And while he does that, let's check here. We see we have 13 folks watching on YouTube. And so 11 folks in chat. That means 2 of you are not, at least 2. And there could be others of you watching on Facebook. And obviously we love having folks watch on Facebook, but we're not monitoring the Facebook chat. Excuse me. Okay. And thank goodness for the big button on my X keys. See that mammoth button right there? That's my cough button, the banana button.
Big button.
And you need a big button. You need a big button so that you can hit it, easily. Because when you're going to cough or sneeze, man, you don't want to do it into the microphone. You just don't. You just don't want to do it. Okay. All right. TC has said, "Peace be upon your hearts." Not sure if the spelling of B is indicative of something, but it's B-E-E. All right, well, Amnon, let's get this show on the road, and we'll get going here. Oops, hold on. We've got somebody walking in. Hi there. Thank you. Okay. I should have locked that door. All right.
It's not too late.
I'll be right back.
Yeah.
Lock that door. That should be on my checklist. Actually, I want to get one of those on-the-air lights. Okay. I'll be right back here. Okay, that was a notice that this office complex is being hooked up to the sewer. Well, what were we before?
Okay.
Oh, my goodness. Okay. Gee whiz. And I thought San Francisco was bad. All right, let's see. Let's get right back in the right spot. Oh, that's too far. Thank goodness for these pneumatic chairs. All right, Dan's here. We can get started. And who else slipped in? Chris is here. Welcome, Chris. And Weather Mayor. That's got to be Sam. All right. Do I have a drive-through service? Asked Ken. Yeah. I tell you what, I never get anybody pop in, ever. The only time somebody popped in was like 4 weeks ago to say, "Is your air conditioner working?" Now, as soon as we're getting ready to start a show, somebody needs to pop in to tell me about the sewer. Okay. All right, so we waited for Dan. We can get going now. So if everything works right.
It will. I mean, it won't.
Yeah, that's right. Oh, you know what I need to do? I probably need to mute your mic while we're doing this. So let's see.
You can just tell me and I will.
Oh, no, I'd rather have control over you. Okay, which one is you? All right, we can mute that one. We can take that one out. We can take that one out. We can take that one out. And there he is. Okay, Amnon is now muted. Say something, Amnon. Yeah, so okay, he's muted, so that worked. All right, that worked. So let's go back here and let's turn those guys off. And with any luck, we will have a show. Oh, by the way, if you're just joining us, come on over to easternshorebroadcasting.com, streamingidiots.com, so you can get it on the chat. So, oh yeah. John T says, just call his phone. Thank you, John T. Turning down the phone as we speak. That's a rookie mistake if there ever was one. Prashana's here. Welcome. Thanks for staying up late with us. It's like 2:30 or something like that in the morning in Nepal. All right, let's give it a go. Hey, welcome, welcome, welcome. I'm Tom Sinclair. This is Streaming Idiots. I'm glad you're here with us today. I am so very excited about today's show. Yes, you say, Tom, why are you so excited about today's show? You're excited about every week's show. Well, the reason is because, actually it was last week, but this marks my 6th year, the end of my 6th year, the beginning of my 7th year in weekly live streams. Yes, indeed. We started back on July 12th, 2012. So that would be, yeah, that's 6 years. It took me a second. And the guest, my very first guest from my very first show, Amnon Nissan, he's not here in the studio here, but he's in his studio in North Carolina, and he's going to be joining us in just a second. And we're gonna talk about some of the changes that we've seen over the years from 2012 to 2018. You know, streaming years and computer years are kind of like dog years. You know, that's the best explanation I can say. So 6 years, 6 years in computer years, 6 years in live streaming years. In live streaming, it's a lifetime, but you know, you would figure it's at least 40 years worth of progress between 6 years ago and now. And Amnon and I have walked through a lot of this together. So we're going to talk about that. But first, if you're watching us on YouTube directly or Facebook, come on over to easternshorebroadcasting.com. You can use streamingidiots.com if it's easier for you to type. And you can get in on the chat. Andres is here, just showed up in the chat. Prashana's here. He's watching from Nepal, where it's like 2:30 in the morning. Timothy is here. Let's see, who else just popped in? Looking through the list. Don't see anybody that just popped in other than those guys. Anyway, so we're glad to have you. And welcome. We won't be monitoring the chat on the Facebook. So if you're watching this on the Streaming Idiots page on Facebook, come on over to easternshorebroadcasting.com. I also want to go ahead and get the infomercial out of the way early on. Can we go ahead and just get that? Let's just get that done, out of the way. Let me cue that again. Let's see. We were supposed to have something happen there. Let's try that one again. There we go. Yeah, Streaming Idiots is sponsored by my company, Eastern Shore Broadcasting. It's our marketing outreach, Streaming Idiots is, and we represent, we're the #1 reseller in the U.S. for vMix. We represent PTZ Optics and Magewell and Yuan and Marshall and X Keys. We love our X Keys, Dan. We love our X Keys. We do. We had Miranda from X Keys on the show a while back, and we also design and build streaming PCs, and we ship them literally all over the world. We shipped one Friday to Texas that's going to be used in rodeos this weekend. TC Long, our buddy TC Long, is the voice of radio, and the voice of radio called up and said, Tom, we need a PC. We need it quick because we got a rodeo coming up and we want to live stream the rodeo and make recordings of all the folks that are competing. And so we shipped it to him. He got it yesterday, and we chatted a little bit yesterday. And then, so thanks to that, and thanks to Gary, who recently, I think he got his last week, and is going to be using it in his church and some other places. So if you're thinking about getting a PC, a streaming PC for your church, or for your business, or for your school, or for, who knows what, give me a call. You can just go to easternshorebroadcasting.com, and our phone number's there, or you can shoot us a note. I had a great time talking to Darren this morning, and Darren's going to help his church get into live streaming, and they want to talk about a live streaming PC, and the cameras and the microphones, the capture cards, and all the things that go along with it. And we've done it so many times, we can help you avoid making those rookie mistakes and be there to coach you once you've got it. So give us a shout, easternshorebroadcasting.com. That's the end of the infomercial. So we're going to leave the infomercial. Yay. Okay. So how in the world did I meet Amnon Nissan? I really don't know. Somehow he got on my radar. I think, well, let me just bring him into the show. First of all, let's make sure that we got some audio on him, because audio is kind of important. And then we'll bring it in. Amnon, don't do that to me. Don't do that to me. I knew that was coming.
Audio is not important, remember.
That's right. Audio is definitely not important. Not important at all.
No,
Welcome, Jan. Glad you're here.
The way that
how did we meet? Do you remember?
Yeah.
Was it jail or was it that other time?
It was before that. It was during the crime itself. No, I needed a copy of VidBlaster.
VidBlaster, yes. Okay.
And actually, Mike Phillips told me, he said, there's a guy in Alabama called Tom Sinclair. Get in touch with him, because he said he read that you have something to do with it, and
right.
And that's what happened after we were using Ustream.
Yes.
We were using their own, which was in a kind of a bastardized Wirecast, I guess, back then. I don't know.
Oh, yeah. That's right. Ustream producer or something like that.
Yeah.
And you and Mike and Spence and Bruce were doing a weekly radio show.
Mike, Spence, and me were doing the radio show.
Bruce wasn't on the radio show.
Actually, on the radio.
On the radio, terrestrial radio. And then you decided to start live streaming it.
And then we decided that we're going to leave the radio when things were starting to go downhill after it was sold, and we decided to do it on the internet. We started doing it on the internet from the radio station, but if you could see the setup, and I was trying to find some videos from back then. I mean, in a radio studio, you have like a glass between the board operator and the quote-unquote talent,
right?
The studio itself. And we had the camera on in the other room, going through double glass, angled. It was going. I mean, because I always said that people were there in order to hear us, not to see.
Your audio was pristine, though, I'm sure.
And it was yeah. Well, I mean, from the radio.
But you could do that back then because it was a novelty. And people would tolerate that because there was nothing like it.
Yep.
It's like the first cheeseburger that came out. If it was a little overdone, it's a cheeseburger, man. We've never had one of those before. Yeah, so now we're in the gourmet phase of live streaming. Nobody's happy unless they're doing HD.
I hope not. I hope there's something still to look forward to.
Well, yeah, there is 4K and 8K and panoramic and 3D and all that kind of stuff. Yeah. No, I was watching one of the videos that we, in fact, you were my very first guest, July 12th, 2012, and you were not live. We recorded the show the day before, July 11th, and I played it live on the show on the 12th. But you were my very, very first guest, and you were awesome, and we did it. I think we did it on Skype, and we're doing it on Skype today. Amnon has
the only reason we're doing it on Skype,
right,
is because I don't know how to set up that vMix call with the hardware that I have. It doesn't work right. So that's the reason. I mean, let's get that out of the way.
That's because you've got a mic and a mixer and a compressor and a stuffer and an unstuffer and all that stuff set up together with all sorts of mix minuses built in and minus mixes. And
let me see here.
Can you show us? Oh yeah, that's the audio rack, folks. That's not his PC rack. That's the audio rack. Okay. And so to get a vMix call into that,
forget about it. Yeah. So I mean, and that's how I really, I mean, I was looking forward so badly to use vMix call. And Nick was trying to set it up last night, and we did it between this computer and the computer in the office, but something was not working right. And I said, Nick, just don't get frustrated. We'll work on it some other time.
Well, it's really funny because the whole idea with vMix Call is that it was going to fix.
It's supposed to be easy.
Your need to have a mixer and set up a mix minus and do all that kind of stuff. And I've worked with several other people, and it's been very difficult to get vMix Call to work because their situations, because of the other hoops that they had to jump through, were so convoluted that vMix Call was so simple it wouldn't work.
Yeah.
So I'm going to put in a feature request for vMix Call that you be able to turn off the mix minus.
Well, but you see, the thing is, sorry about that. The thing is, you're having a lot of fun now playing, and everybody else with vMix, period.
Yes.
That is the downside of having a studio that you're using to make money, and other people are coming in and all that. You can't do all these things, because if you start playing with it and something breaks, here is somebody who is paying you to tell them, I'm sorry, I can't do it today. I want things to work
every time.
And really, whether it's Skype or vMix Call or Hangout, it doesn't matter, as long as their guest gets through and people on the other side can see the guest. So I got to the point where I'm more practical than having fun with it.
Oh.
I know. Now, don't misunderstand, but I love doing it.
Everybody together.
It's just, oh yeah, collective. Oh no, but the thing is that what normally would take you 2 or 3 days after a version is released to play and to realize what all the new features are and use them and all that may take me 6 months. I just yesterday installed 21.
Oh, yeah, because you're not, because you don't want to make any changes that might, I understand.
That's the problem. You see, that's the thing. And when I saw Nick setting up vMix Call and going into the audio outputs and
Nick's
setting
in chat.
up and
Nick's
do
watching.
the what?
Nick's watching. He's in chat.
Okay, yeah, and he was getting in there and doing that, setting it up for headphone, and I'm saying, well, what? And there were a lot of little things that he had to do in order to get the call to go through.
Right.
So it's not just click on it, get the link, send it to somebody, and let them call in, which I thought was like that. So yeah,
you gotta see what Nick's putting in chat while you're talking. Oh my gosh!
No, and the truth is, I do enjoy it. If I didn't enjoy it, I wouldn't do it.
Yeah. Okay.
I mean, it's a lot of fun.
Hold,
Yeah.
Time. Folks, if you're just joining us, you're going, what in the world is going on? Come on over to easternshorebroadcasting.com, put a .com down there, and get in on the chat, because that's where you can see Nick says, that's BS. He's having plenty of fun. He's old. So, so you don't want to miss those comments. And Nick is one of Amnon's proteges.
No. I mean, Nick is on his own. He's his own.
He's moved out of protege status. Okay.
Well, he did it all before.
He's colleague now.
Computers 2K now. He was doing and he's one of the hosts of Computers 2K now, and he's great. And actually, right now,
Computers 2K now is, other than Nick, is a bunch of old guys that get together and talk tech online. Sunday mornings at 9 o'clock Eastern at Computers 2, the numeral 2K now, and it's a call-in show, and you can call in by phone, or you can call in by can you call in by Skype? Yeah. And I remember, man, you guys had me hooked on that show for probably a couple of years until I just couldn't carve out as much. I mean, y'all would spend 4 or 5 hours on the show on Sunday mornings talking about phones and computers, and we did talk a little bit about live streaming some.
Yeah. No, but I was going to say about Nick. Now he's going exactly the other direction than I do. I started on radio and went to computers. Nick started with computers. Today, Nick is the engineer for a radio station in Wilmington, North Carolina. So he went the other way.
How about that? That's
but
cool.
He's still doing his show. He's got a very, very, very popular show about gaming. Infection Podcast.
Oh my goodness.
Infectionpodcast.com. Yeah, he's and that's what it is. You enjoy doing that stuff, and you keep in the midst of everything that's happening. Sunday morning is like, it's a hangout. It's just talking about things.
Yep.
It's a lot of fun. Yeah.
It is.
Yeah.
It is. And how long? Oh my goodness! How long has that show been going on, including the radio time?
It started in July '93.
93.
Yeah, 1993.
03, 13.
So 25
years. 25 years this month.
Yeah.
Wow. That's
Yep.
awesome. That's awesome. And you and Mike
Thanks,
haven't
July
killed each other. That's amazing.
30th. Yeah.
Oh, that's cool. That's very cool. Well, folks, if you have a chance, go to Computers 2K now and tune in. Also, you can go to Nissan Communications, right down there, and add a .com to the end of it. Because Amnon, out of his studio, in addition to producing the show with the old guys plus Nick on Sunday mornings, and what's that? The real old guy? Is his name Mike? Anyway, Amnon has got.
I'm not going there.
Mike and I share the same birthday, although it's just, not the same birth year. I think that was back when they did birth years with smaller numbers. Amnon has got several shows that he's producing in his studio, and just started recently a new show with the business referral group BMI. Is it BMI or BNI?
BNI,
Okay.
Business Network International.
Business Network International, and they're like 20 of these chapters in the Raleigh area, and you are doing shows with BNI. Is that every month?
Every week.
Every week.
Every Monday morning.
Every Monday morning. So they're coming into your studio and doing a live show every Monday morning. That is very cool. And you've also got the Vietnam Veterans Group that do the show. Is that Monday night?
That's Wednesday evening.
Wednesday evening. And then you've got some other folks that come in do kind of personal talk shows.
Monday noon, Monday evening. Yeah, there's a few shows, and that's, I was going to mention this, guys. If you have a studio, or I mean, sort of like a studio at home. Most of us have it at home. I mean, mine is at home. And you've
added on You've
Yes,
added
I mean
on.
you do
You've
it. You
added
do
on
it
this
as it goes,
amazing
as it
studio
goes.
on the back end.
But
Yes.
the point here is, you have something that you're doing and you're enjoying, and you are putting a good amount of money into it. And this is why I said, oh, we need to get other people to do it, because I stood here one day and I said, all this equipment and all this money for a few hours on Sunday morning, that doesn't make a bit of sense. And I started asking other people if they want to come in and do a show. And the first ones were just, for fun, no paying, no nothing. When I
Right.
saw that there was a lot of demand, I said, okay, I'm going to start charging. And it's worth it. I mean, we're not making a killing, but it's still worth it. Yeah. But do it because it will help you. I mean, if I need a new camera and I want to buy it, yeah, my company it's part of my company now, but still, it's easy to take it on the balance sheet and say, okay, here's the money that came into the studio. I can take this money and buy a new camera. I can take this money and buy this. So it adds to the fun. So think about doing this if you can.
There you go. Well, Amnon, you are my inspiration in opening this studio. Because Sandy, my wife, made it very clear early on that I was not having company into my home studio.
Oh, okay.
Now, your Kathy is a different cut.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's a different slice of that pie.
It's different because I started my own business back in '81.
Yeah.
When I was working on cars, it was right here, and then the computer business was right in here. So I've been on my own at home. So she's used to people coming in and out. So it wasn't, but I can see where Sandy.
Your hands just didn't get as dirty. Yeah, I get it.
Yeah, it's fine. Yeah, but go ahead and talk about the studio.
Well, no, I mean you're my inspiration for the studio to have a studio that I can invite folks in to do their own shows. Where my hope is to actually host a local show here soon, where I can invite folks in to bring their businesses or their interest to a wider online community, but to do it with a real local focus. We're here in Fairhope, Alabama. If you've never been here, you need to come visit. It's an amazing little place. But there's so much going on here, and in some ways, with all of the new tech we have, our society is almost more fractured than it was before when we only had 3 TV stations and 1 newspaper. Now it's just, there's all sorts of media out there. So in order to know what's going on, you have to sort of watch everything, and you can't stay with everything like that. So my hope was to probably just be one more siren in the wind, but to have a local show and then invite folks in here to have their own shows, and maybe even bring a mobile studio to them, so that if they're downtown with a business and they want to promote their business, that we can bring in our mobile studio and help them get on the air, a la that great show that Paul and Tess with PTZ Optics did several months ago at the downtown store in their town of Westchester, Pennsylvania. So I'm pretty stoked about it. Obviously, I've still got some work to do. I don't have a camera set up to show you the studio today, but we're getting there.
You see, that's part of the fun.
It is.
I love it when I have to do something here in the studio, add things or change things. It's like therapy, sort of.
Yes.
Yeah.
I get it. I get it.
And
so,
here,
I'm sorry.
Let me just. Go ahead.
I think we're interrupting a meeting that Amnon is supposed to be in right now. So.
No. I mean, it's as part of the whole studio thing, there is 24/7 streaming.
Okay.
That goes out. And what I do is I rotate the last 4 weeks of all the shows. And that goes through another machine.
Okay.
And it's a machine that's on a rack right there.
And it's streaming right now.
It's streaming right now. You can sort
There's
of like see
Nick.
the audio up there jumping, and look who's there.
Yeah.
Whoop, wait a second. Oh shoot. It's that stupid auto. Who's
Anyway, that's Nick.
That's Nick.
That's got to be Nick. Yeah.
That's Nick. And there's Mike.
And there's Mike. Yeah. Oh, he's got his prison garb on. Okay.
Yeah. So while we're doing this, I mean, it's still streaming. It's a different set. It's a different computer, different everything else, and it's going with the monitor on the right that you see, or the left, whichever way you see it.
Right.
That's VLC running the 24/7 and captures it and sends it out. Nick set it up for me back with an HDMI right out of this computer here to go over there, and over there it's running Wirecast.
What's that?
Only because it's been there and it's working, and I don't want to mess with it. And it's very, very nice, because what happens is when we do a live show, all I have to do is check over there on another shot, which brings this live shot, and right away we are live over there. On this machine, I do Facebook only. And that's because Facebook, I mean, vMix will not allow you to do anything more than Facebook with another one, unless you go through hoops with all that RTMP and all that.
Oh,
which
that's
I don't
easy
like.
peasy.
I know it's easy. Yeah. Easy for you to say. But it works great. Over there, it's Restream.io, which takes it to a whole bunch of places, plus ULive Now. And over on this machine, it's Facebook. So if something breaks, and the nice thing also here is this machine that we're talking on right now, it's going through Time Warner or Spectrum. The Restream machine goes through AT&T Uverse. So if one of them goes down, I can always real quick switch over to the other provider and keep on going. And again, this is because there are people that are coming over here and they paying, and you can't say, oh, my internet's down, sorry, we can't do it today. So it's sort of like a redundancy.
I like it. I like it. And obviously you've run into those situations where you've needed it.
Oh, yeah. Especially with storms. And one will go Time Warner goes down a whole lot more than Uverse.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting. All right, well, let's recap. So you started out with VidBlaster back in 2012, or maybe even before that.
I think
2011. Maybe.
Yeah, before that. I mean, until I got it to run and all that. I mean, yeah.
And then you switched to Wirecast before I did.
Right. I switched to Wirecast because we couldn't do.
It was the encoder.
It was a quad core machine, and it just couldn't handle. We were not doing HD. It couldn't handle.
It couldn't handle 480. Yeah.
80.
Yeah.
And
I remember that.
Steve said, Amnon, let me just get you on Wirecast and I'll show you how to use it and everything. And I resisted so much. I mean, I don't like the change. So, but finally, they got on the computer, the team viewed in, they installed Wirecast and set it up. And I spent 2 days just building profiles, and I got, oh, okay, well, yeah, I can use it. And started using it. When did I go on vMix now? 2 years?
It's been about 2 years. Yeah, you were on Wirecast for a while.
Yeah, and the reason I was
meanwhile,
looking for something,
the temperatures and the water level is getting higher and higher, and you're finding it more and more difficult to breathe. And finally,
there was one very important thing that I couldn't stand staying on Wirecast anymore, for what I was doing was that if you played a video, it would echo. You had to turn off the speaker. On the right side there by the volume, there's a speaker and there's a headphone. I can't remember. One of them had to turn off, and then everything is okay. And you just have to remember that before you go back live, you check it again, and that's okay. And you would do it. But the icons were so small and are still so small that every now and then you click on it and it really didn't click. And you come back and you said, welcome, 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 welcome. And it will go louder and right away, and you panic and you click it. Now, this is not professional.
And what was the software that was doing that?
That was Wirecast.
That was Wire. Okay, just wanted to get that for the record. Yeah.
It would happen about once every 2 weeks, but it was enough to make me to embarrass me.
Yeah, that'll make change happen.
Everybody was saying,
yep.
You need to go on vMix. And Nick was he was like a steamroller on me, vMix. So finally I said, okay, vMix. And they worked on it. I mean, I'm not good to figuring things out right off the bat. Nick knew it. Again, team viewed, set it up. Everything is ready for Sunday morning. I was going to do the rest of the week on Wirecast, but do Computers 2K Now on vMix and see how it goes. And no, it was okay. Yeah, Sunday, Computers 2K Now. Monday, I'm on vMix. It's fine. That was easy. So it's
much ado.
Yeah, it was a nice progression. Absolutely, and it's amazing how vMix is. Now I'm told that the new Wirecast is pretty good too. I don't know. I didn't try it again because I am not going to experiment here. One of these days I'll put it on just to see what it does. We'll see.
This is from the guy that just updated to vMix 21 last week.
Right. No, yesterday.
Oh, yesterday.
Yesterday. Yeah.
But that's the thing. I mean, when you're in a professional environment, you have to go with what works and what works consistently.
And what you're used to. I mean,
what you're familiar with. That's right.
That's not to say that 21 was not working. I didn't know if there are any kind of things that are going to mess up. So, yeah.
Yeah, no, I get it. So, yeah, I saw the other day where Wirecast or Telestream is practically giving away Wirecast these days. You can buy it for 50% off. So if anybody out there has been holding off on upgrading or buying Wirecast, now is the time because you can get it at half price. They've been doing a half price sale all summer. Kind of makes you wonder, Anyway.
Huh?
Anyway.
No, I'm sure vMix is taking the world by storm. I mean, it is amazing. It's just amazing.
Oh, and thank you for mentioning that because I want to put the rumor to bed. The rumor is not true. vMix is not selling out to new tech. For those of you that were involved in that rumor, I can tell you from the horse's mouth that is not happening. So don't need to worry about that one any longer. vMix is safely where it belongs in Martin and Tim's very capable hands. And we'll move forward in the pace that it has. Well, actually, it's not a glacial pace. It's a pretty rapid pace. I mean, goodness gracious, you look at all the major features that are added to vMix that, pop up in other software programs a year or two later. I can't help but wonder what's going to be in vMix 22. My gosh. I've got my own list of things I'd like to see there, but we'll talk about that on another show. Well, give some advice to somebody that's just starting out live streaming now, from a home studio. What would you, if you had to do it all over again, how would you do it? What advice would you give to somebody just starting out?
I would do it. I would probably do it the same way. The thing here is like this. If you have money to spare, that's one thing.
Yeah.
But start with the basics. I mean, we used webcams for a long time
Okay.
until you told me to go ahead and change and go with the webcams. I mean, with the webcams, with the handy
With the
cams.
capture cards. Yeah.
And I'm still using.
Still using the same camera.
I mean, look what's over here.
Oh, that's a Vixia.
Yeah. I mean, and it works great.
Is that an R100?
It's an R100.
Oh my goodness. That was
HF R100. Is that what? Yeah.
HF R100. Yeah.
It's working great. It is. I've got 1, 2, 3 of them. And the third one, the one that I'm playing with here, is a Sony, only because I couldn't find one of them.
Uh-huh.
Oh no, I wanted something a little wider. I mean, here this is across from the disc.
Yeah.
I mean, this is the disc, and this is across. So this is where if I have the host will sit there on the left, and their guest will be on the right. And there was a show that I was doing. They wanted to have 3 or 4 people here, so I wanted a camera that's a little wider, so I can actually fit 4 chairs next to each other, and it worked just fine. The light that you see in the middle is just the one I put when I do my show, so it lights this side. Normally it's not there, but this is what I'm using, and I went and I got myself a Kona card that was, I believe it was $150 on eBay, and I've got to give AJA a plug here because they also, I mean, there was some quirks. I don't know how it was used, and I couldn't figure out, and nobody could figure it out. I called them. She got on the machine on TeamViewer. She went in, she upgraded it, and she knew that I bought it from eBay for, I think, $150. I don't remember. Then I bought a second one for $100. I couldn't turn it down. I said, okay, yeah, now I have a spare if something happens. Nick will tell you, I like spares because if something happens, you want to go right away. I've got 2 more R100s in the drawer in case something happens, but they're cheap. You see them for $30-$40. Okay, yeah, I'll buy it. So start again. So go back to the advice. Start whatever your budget is going to allow you, because a lot of people start, do 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and they lose steam and they say, nah, this is not what I want to do. You don't want to spend a lot of money and then put it aside or sell it on Craigslist for 10th of what you bought it for.
Right.
Listen to other broadcasters, podcasters. And just to clarify that, there are a lot of what I call podcasters are people that sit there, record a show all by themselves. They do it or with whoever, edit it, and then they publish it. We don't do it like that. I never done it like this. It's always live. We don't edit anything, and you put it out there later on also for people to come for VOD. So do whatever you can to come up with, first of all, subject that you like, that you can keep on going with, subject that you have enough material that you can cover, and don't wait until you have enough material for 10. I've heard in local meetings, you have to have about 12 of them before you can do it. What are you talking about? Start. It will come, because if it doesn't come, you have no business doing it. But people are doing it because they like to, and start small, because really, what's the difference between if I had a C920 in front of me right now or a setup like this, like what I have? You would see the same thing. You're not here to see my face. You are mainly here to hear what somebody has to say. That's what the whole broadcast podcast thing is. It's you're looking at television. Yeah, over there's more to it, but you want to see a comedy. You want to laugh. You listen to the radio. You're listening to content. The content is what important, not what you look like. So don't go for the gusto in one time. As far as hardware, have better content. Content is what's important.
There we go.
Yeah.
Good advice. Good advice. All right, my friend, we got to wrap this one up. Can you hang on for a few minutes in post-show?
I keep telling you, though, Tom, you really need to get some content.
One of these days, I'm going to get some content. There we go. Oh, my goodness. One of these days.
Couldn't help it.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Stick around. We'll come back in post-show. As you can tell, Amnon is a hoot and has got a wealth of experience. Remember to tune in Sunday morning. Make a note. Sunday morning, 9 a.m. Eastern Time. Computers 2K Now. You can go to nissancommunications.com and see the whole lineup of what he's doing. You may want to take a look at that BNI show if you're thinking about doing some local shows. And, in fact, you might contact your local BNI chapter and say, hey, look what they're doing in Raleigh, North Carolina. Why don't you do that here? So lots of great opportunities there. Remember, of course, in our infomercial earlier in the show that you can go to easternshorebroadcasting.com and purchase your very own license of vMix, your own Magewell capture cards or Uon capture cards. We just got a new shipment of X keys in, so they're just fresh. You know, there's nothing better than a fresh set of X keys. So we've got some X keys here for sure. And what else have we got? Oh, PTZ Optics cameras. Yeah, we need to put together a big group buy on some PTZ Optics cameras. I had a PTZ 30 in here very briefly. Thank you, Michael. And did you know it was brand new? And that is the bomb. That 30 is amazing. So if you need a long throw on a robotic camera, take a look at the PTZ Optics PT30X. It'll be SDI, HDMI, or NDI, so it's a win-win-win all the way across the board. If you need those, we've got them. We've got them. EasternShoreBroadcasting.com. Hey, I'm Tom Sinclair. It's been a treat to have you. Don't forget to tune in next Wednesday at 3 o'clock Eastern for the next exciting episode of Streaming Idiots. In the meantime, see you then. Happy streaming. What a show. Gee whiz. And we're out. We're out. Oh, good. Boy. That was fun. Thank you. Man, that was cool.
Thank you. That was
fun. All right,
fun.
So now you've turned me up again. I can hear myself in the background. But I want you to tell me, and anybody in the chat, can you identify this song? That was the theme to That VidBlaster Guy. That VidBlaster Guy.
Yeah.
And it was one of your buddies that gave that show the name, Amnon.
Who?
What's his name? That was he was on the show with the guy from England. And
yeah.
It was TTFN.
Yeah.
Vance
Willis.
Vance Willis. Yeah, I was in chat one of the days when he and Mark were doing the show. And he said, Tom Sinclair says such and such. He's that VidBlaster guy. And I said, hey, that's a great name for a show. So there we were. There we were. Yep, that was the VidBlaster guy.
Yeah, I haven't talked with Vance in some time.
Yep, VBG, says Timothy McGowan. Good job. Yes, indeed. That VidBlaster guy. That was fun. Funny little story about that. After I did my show with you, and I did a show with, who was my second show? Oh, Alan.
Yes.
And then I invited the developer of VidBlaster to come on the next show. And he wrote me back and he said the quality of the show was so low that he couldn't be on the show. And I was shocked. I mean, gee whiz.
God works in mysterious ways.
Well, he was making sure I got the message on that one, wasn't he? Holy cow.
Yep. It's fine.
It took a little while for me to get the rest of the message, but that was the first. And at that point, I shouldn't hold a grudge, but at that point I said, this guy's never going to come on my show, no matter how great the show gets.
Yeah.
Not that it ever got that great, but Now, you never said that. You might have said that to Mike. You said, oh, Tom Sinclair's invited me on that show again. Oh, my God, I'm going to have to go. I can't say no. But you never said that to me.
I was looking forward. It is fun.
To be on somebody else's show and let them sweat all the details.
No. It is fun to do things like that. You don't pretend to be what you're not.
Right.
He was pretending to be something that he was not.
Well, that's why I like the Streaming Idiot show so much.
Absolutely. I mean, this is great.
Fits.
You can screw up and everything. And it's okay. It's fine because this is life.
Yeah, but it's also part of the show. I mean, that's the whole idea: is that live streaming, as you're learning it, it is full of adventure, but it's also full of cliffs and potholes and things that can break and not go right. And that's why this show is so accurate, because I don't cover up any of that stuff. I mean, nothing gets edited out. Everything that we do live is what's in the recording. Timothy says he was that VB guy. Now Tom knows he's just an idiot. That's right.
It's great.
That's right.
I mean, it's fine. Can you imagine that you said this about, what's his name? Can't remember his name.
Oh, yeah.
Can you imagine? Yeah. I mean, you would get, what did he call it? When you are banned from, he had a word.
Oh, yeah. Golly, you got a strike or something?
He put you in the doghouse.
Something, yeah.
I mean,
yeah.
It's ridiculous.
Oh, it was an alternate reality.
I don't know. Why are we giving him so much time here now? Forget it.
I know.
Yeah.
I tell you what, in contrast is Martin Sinclair, the developer of vMix. Now, Martin and I have got to be cousins. We haven't figured it out yet. Somebody was telling me the other day, the very worst you could be is 12th cousins. Because after that, they begin to wrap back around. But, you talk about a guy that's humble and will give you the shirt off his back, is very gentle. He's not a bully. He tries his best to arrive at conclusions and at solutions that make as many people happy as possible. He's smart as a whip, that fella. And but he doesn't use his brilliance as an axe to chop other people up. Instead, he says, let's get with this together. I mean, a great example of that is the relationship that he has, and this is maybe where the rumor came from, but the relationship that he has with Dr. Andrew Cross from NewTek, in that those two guys got together and were sharing back and forth, and that's why vMix was the very first, to my knowledge, vMix was the very first anything, software, hardware, whatever, that had NDI in it except TriCasters. vMix was the very first back in 2016. And that was just the whole idea that he said, that the strength comes from collaboration, not from conquering, your colleagues. And it really has struck me as a grand way to do business. It doesn't always work. I mean, there's sometimes you get in business with people that just aren't good partners. but he's done a great job of showing me that way. And then, of course, the vMix product, that he must sweat blood to make it as much, what's the right word, as he cares about the folks that still have vMix 14, you know? And his website says it costs you, what, $60 to upgrade. But if you have vMix 14, you can go to vmix.com today and you can get an upgrade to vMix 21 for free. It's unofficial. It's not in the documentation.
Right, yeah.
But you can download and install it, and it will activate, and they will give you a, you know, kind of a wink and a nod to let you know that it's okay, and they're going to support it. And they think it's much more valuable to have those folks, you know, how with VidBlaster or Wirecache, you would get hung up at a particular level, and it was going to cost you 50% of the value to upgrade. And so you end up with people out there that are using 18 different versions of the software. Well, vMix has said it's easier for us to support the latest, greatest.
Right.
Let's let everybody upgrade for free, and we'll try to saturate the market. And I just love it. It is, and of course, it's amazing software. Not just from the policy side, but from the production side.
You know, I just thought about it. I installed vMix before I installed VidBlaster.
Oh, really? Oh, wow.
Yep.
That must have been way back when.
Then, but it wasn't a ready product. It was, I mean, you install it and there is a module here and a module here and there was a lot of writing in between, and you couldn't do much with it. I'm sure you could do something, but it wasn't easy to set up. And I'm sure I have it on one of the laptops, the old laptops. I never throw them away. That's laying here somewhere. It's not something he did not just decided in the last 2 years to do something.
Right.
He's been at it for some time.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. No doubt. No doubt. I don't think it was intended as a money-making proposition. He just did it so he could live stream a Christmas or Easter service at his church.
Church. Yep.
Yeah. Yep. Yep. Cool.
Yep.
Cool.
That's right.
Well, thank you for coming on the show.
I'm home.
You're home. And my phone's been ringing off the hook during the show. I don't know.
Oh.
You would think at some point that I would put a message on there that says, hey, he's doing a show. But I haven't.
No, it's fine. Yeah,
it may be my wife saying, you better not be bringing people home to do a show. No, she wouldn't. All right, so who's still hanging here with us? Timothy's here, Amnon's here, Kane's here. Kane's from New Tech. Welcome, Kane. Glad to have you. Oh, by the way, Kane, yeah, Amnon and I were talking in the pre-show about the Skype NDI update, and we both realized that neither one of us are Skype insiders. I tried to sign up as a Skype insider today, and they said, no. And so that was interesting. So we had hoped to actually, or I had hoped to be able to use Skype with NDI today just to see how it worked, but it didn't work, so we had to do a screen cap, which, you know, I think Amnon looks pretty good. But that's probably just him more than anything else. All right, Tommy Willis is here from Tallahassee. Nick's here. TV Todd's here. Jerome's here. Andres is here. Jan and John T. Michael Graves. Edward Ford. Ken Benedict. Chris Watts. Jonah. Joseph. And Dan with PI Engineering. John T. said, you don't need to be an insider. It's out on public release. Well, that's what I had hoped, John T., but it is not available in my updated version, Skype 8.25 point whatever that I just downloaded, where you go to do the advanced to set up the NDI. I didn't have that option, so I'm missing out on something. Oh, and Bert's here. Sorry about that, Bert. You didn't appear on the list here on the side. There you are. Bert Williams, he's on the list now. And And Michael was here a few minutes ago. Michael is getting a couple of cameras, rented a couple PTZ cameras for us from the weekend. Oh, excuse me. Kane says, not sure why it wouldn't let you become an insider. Well, I can think of a bunch of reasons. But those are all personal
No, I
things.
don't see any reason why either.
Yeah, maybe they had enough people in the insider program. Maybe they were about ready to do it. Kane said at least it only works with his main Skype account. Yeah, I've only got one Skype account, so. Well, I may have multiples, but it's the main one I'm working with on Amnon right now.
Oh, it may be that
Skype
it's
for Windows,
only...
not the Skype app. Yeah, I've got Skype for
No.
Windows.
What? They don't they have a different one that's like Skype desktop or something?
Skype
Is that the
desktop
same
for
as-
Windows, and then there's the Skype app, and you can tell they're different color icons.
Oh,
And actually, I've tried to get rid of the Skype app several times, and it keeps coming back. But it's a Microsoft thing, so anyway. Michael Graves says it's interesting that Microsoft is positioning as just as a call recording solution. Yeah, I had a chat with the Microsoft Skype guy at NAB because he was coming around. he was coming around and said he was at the VMix and he saw my name Sinclair, so he thought I was the Sinclair, and he said, "Why haven't we bought your company?" Well, so I knew what the misidentification was, and I said because you can't afford to.
you should have said you have a check. You have a check. Come on, let's do it now.
No. I figured if he ever came back, I was going to give him that one, so he'd think, oh boy, these guys really think a lot of themselves. We better add a couple of zeros to the end of that offer. No, you can't afford us. You can't. And that would be the worst thing that could ever happen to vMix is to get bought up by Microsoft. It would change. It would change, and it wouldn't be good. But yeah, Microsoft, and we asked him then, he said, yeah, it's got the ability to show up as an NDI source in things like vMix, but it doesn't accept NDI from vMix. So that's the thing that they need to add. That's the thing it needs to add. All right, Kane says the advanced option is tied to your Skype account. I have a few and can log in one account there and log it in with another, and it's missing. So I will check. And definitely Skype for desktop, not the Windows Store version. Yep. PI Engineering, that's Dan. He's trying to start a rumor that New Tech is buying out Eastern Shore Broadcasting. Ah, okay. Not vMix. That must be it. Somehow, maybe that's one of the calls I just missed. Yeah, that's it. That's it. Okay. Bert says, do you need the NDI tools with Skype? I don't think you do. I mean, I think you can, depending on what you're going to do with the Skype, if you're going to bring it into vMix, I don't think you need it to bring it into vMix, but you may need a tool or two to get it back into Skype. And Jonia says, what's there to buy? Well, you buy the whole company. That's it. Kane says NDI tools not needed, but he installs NDI tools on all the systems that use NDI. Yeah, you never know when you're going to need a tool in the toolbox. Better to have the toolbox with you. Good suggestion, Kane. And Michael Graves says that NDI tools are handy for diagnostics. Absolutely. It's nice. It was fun. I was, getting a camera ready to ship to Michael yesterday and popped it on here, was checking the IP address, and it just popped right up as an NDI source. Didn't have to do any configuration. It was really nice. So the rough edges around NDI are beginning to get filed smooth, and that's good. That means it's becoming a mature product. Yep. Hey, Rick's here. Hey, Rick. Welcome. Glad to have you. Rick, unlike Amnon, Rick cut his teeth in sports live streaming, where Amnon came from the radio world. Rick came from the TV world. And if you haven't seen it already, Rick has got a really cool group on Facebook called Webcasters, and has shared all sorts of historical documents from his time doing live streaming. So definitely check that out. All right, Michael Graves has got a brand new Yuan C530 working well. Ah, good. I'd heard some not so great things about that. I hope it continues to go well. That's good news. That's good news. Well, Amnon, what's the next big thing coming from Nissan Communications?
It will probably be NDI sooner or
Yeah?
later.
Yeah? We don't want to rush into this stuff. And NDI's only been out there for 2 years.
Yeah, I know. I've got time. No, I mean, I don't. That's the thing. I don't make plans at Nissan Communications, or, I mean, it's as it comes. You know, it's. If I was a good salesman, it would be great. I mean,
Yeah.
I'll make a lot. Well, I say great. It would be great income.
Yeah.
But I just do it. I wait for people to come to me. I don't go after people.
Yep.
So I
get it.
couldn't answer a question, what's coming up next?
I think you ought to do a political show.
Is this from your side?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
That's my parking lot.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Sounds like a UPS.
Somebody's backing up a truck. Yeah.
Yeah, it sounded like a UPS.
It probably was. It probably was.
No.
Yeah, I need to put a sign out front. No UPS between 2 and 3 o'clock Central. Yeah.
No, you just need to, well, we'll talk about it.
I want to do a political show.
Well, the
I
time
wanna
is
do a
now.
Political talk show. Me and my brother, who is a flaming liberal. And and I think we could have a really cool show. I also want to do a local political show and invite all the candidates for the fall election to come in and talk about who they are and what they think in kind of an expanded format, not just, postcard version. I think that might be really popular. So I got to get the studio finished so I can do all that.
Just make sure you have enough bouncers.
Yeah, really. Okay, for those of you that are hanging in till the very end, I did have a special camera that I set up for today's show that I wanted to show off. And it's got audio with it, and so you'll be able to hear the audio from the server. So let me cut over to that camera. And that's the server. You could tell from the picture. I'll send it back, but I'll turn off the audio. Yeah, there's the audio. You can see that I've got it surrounded by blankets and fiberglass pads, and I also replaced one of the. In fact, it's a whole new server for streaming and recording now. It's actually an i3 that's doing it, and we're streaming right now to Facebook and to YouTube, and using 15% CPU on an i3. So i3 looks like a good possibility for a helper PC if you need to divide and conquer. Anyway, anybody know anything about the streaming awards? Joni, if you're talking about the streaming media awards, they're taking nominations now through, I think, August 1st, and then they'll open up to voting in September and October, and then make the announcement in November, something like that. If you're talking about the PTZ Optics Streaming Awards, well, I won Male Show Host of the Year.
Is this
there must not have been anybody else that entered.
Is this the streaming media awards that you have to buy your award?
Oh, I don't know.
There was one of them. Who was it? What's the name of the guy that does his show on Saturday? Oh, geez. Been doing a show for. He's doing it for years. He's from Hawaii. He was in Hawaii, or he is in Hawaii.
Timothy says Todd Cochran.
Todd Cochran, yeah.
Todd Cochran.
Is that what you're talking about? The awards show that he's organizing? Did you know that if you win a trophy, you have to pay for it?
$500.
I don't know.
We're starting a
It's
contest.
ridiculous.
That's right. Yeah. Yep. And we have 1,000 categories, and you have to buy your own trophy. Yeah. I like that.
Instead of that, just go to the trophy store, buy yourself a trophy, and put it on your shelf. And it will be just as meaningful as getting one from there.
Or save some money and go to Goodwill. Yeah.
Yeah, you
There
can
you
do
go.
that too. Absolutely.
Yep. Well, Amnon, you're a treat. You're a treat. I appreciate you so much and have valued your friendship over the years and hope for many more years to come.
Yep. I love
And
that
I gotta-
in the clip that you put there, you said, and we'll look to have you again in the future, and that was perfect ending to that show in 2012.
And here's 6 years later. That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. Jonia was talking
All right.
about the Streaming Media Awards. Yes. Yes, that's that. They're taking nominations now, and they'll open up for voting in another month or so. Yep. So VMix has been nominated in a couple of categories. I've actually been nominated. I don't think I'll make it to the voting stage, but yeah.
You won something. What was it?
Well, I won the streaming award
Yeah.
from PTC Optics for male.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's right.
Male talk show host. But that's pretty small potatoes. This is big stuff. But somebody had nominated me.
Big stuff. I don't know about big stuff. It's as big as you think it is.
Yeah.
If you think it's big stuff, and you know,
I don't think it's.
I don't
very big.
think I've ever entered in any of those things. I mean, jeez. Now, whatever
All
turns
right.
you on.
All right. Oh, that's right. You're watching down there. Okay. All right, my friend.
All right.
You're a piece of work, as they say.
I'll talk to you later.
All right. Good. Good.
See
Thank
ya.
All right.
Thanks,
So
everybody.
long. And we are going to cut to the close. We're going to let this run out, and we will catch you guys later.